Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto. Hope you're having a good one. And here we are for growmybag.tv. So there is a lot going on, like a ton. We'll go through the numbers. We'll talk about earnings, all that good stuff. But let's hit some of the bullet points that I've seen this morning. So I told you yesterday that BlackRock has accumulated about $500 million worth of Bitcoin, and they're just beginning. Think about that. They're just beginning. They're in the top 15 holders of Bitcoin. I mean, not that far away from MicroStrategy, right? That's big. Something else that's big, Ubisoft is again dipping into the gaming space, joining Wemix's network. And that's actually huge because they're saying that they're going to have about 40 nodes. So that's something to think about. And this is, I think, the second time in 2 weeks that I've told you about Ubisoft making moves like that. At the center of all of the Bitcoin ETFs, or not all, but most of the Bitcoin ETFs, is Coinbase. And people are beginning to wonder about just how much dominance they should have in that space, as there's a kind of centralization of risk just over Coinbase. So that's something to consider when I look at, all my funds. The thing that I start to think about, which I think is good, is the fact that Coinbase has the network to do so. Although companies could have gone to some company like, OKX or something. OKX is actually making moves too. OKX just got their license to operate in Dubai. So OKX, Coinbase has been taking, all of the air out of the room. But OKX has been slowly, quietly making moves, and I like that. They've just been all about making moves. That's something that cracked me up over the weekend. The IMF Director, I have to read my notes for this, Kristalina Georgieva, is running around saying, yeah, that's great, all about that stuff, Bitcoin, whatever. It's not money. Yeah, it's not money yet. I'm just saying, that line, thou dost protest too much, comes to mind when I think about the IMF. So I start to wonder about, so what are you trying to say? What are you going to do? What has been your stance on BRICS versus the dollar versus just everything? What's your stance on CBDCs? Bitcoin might not be money yet, but what do you think about all these CBDCs and global trade? Because I've got to value somebody else's CBDC or their fiat. There's no difference. One is digital, built on blockchain, and the other one's not. So what's the value of your fiat is still going to be the question. And then when I think about the value of that fiat, I start to contemplate, well, how does that compare with what I should get in terms of goods, services? So that's going to be a long and ongoing conversation. And there are so many nuances. And the reason why I pay attention to that is because eventually it's going to trickle down, and that's going to have effect on stocks, stock markets, retail consumers, just everything around the world. So I start to really think about that. I mean, everybody's thinking about the Red Sea and everything that's going on over there and how ships have to go around the world. Yes, that's going to add to the cost, because that means literally you're going to need more gas to get around the Horn of Africa. So I'm just saying there are things that we should be paying attention to that can really affect our money, and those are things that I contemplate. So I understand her point. I really do understand her point. But what else do you have to say? What else are you doing? Right? Maybe we'll find out when Brad Garlinghouse goes and speaks in front of the World Economic Forum. A lot of the same people. So I'm just sitting here and I'm just going, there's a lot of stuff going on in a major fashion. So, but what does it all mean? How does that affect my money? Right? Is my money going to go up? Is the value of Bitcoin going to go up? Are my investments going to be in danger? Is it going to cost me more to gather goods and services, to sell, whatever? Just all of that comes into play, and that's how I start to make my calculations. So depending on what kind of investor you are, you're going to have to start to look at a broader concern and not just crypto. Again, other factors will affect crypto. So in the United States, we had a long weekend. Yesterday was off. It was Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So stock market wasn't open. So do I expect the stock market to take off this week? Do I expect, as earnings come in, and we'll talk about who's showing earnings this week, do I expect Bitcoin to rise this week? Yes. Because now businesses are open. You see the effect of stock market on crypto, then you'll see crypto and stock market. But I'm just saying, these are things that I start to weigh into my calculations. And these calculations change on a daily basis depending on the kind of news that I'm reading. I'll put more weight on this and less weight on that. And I'll make a decision on this and I'll purchase that or sell that. That's what I'm talking about. And another big move, you have Fantom Foundation saying if you want to be a validator, guess what? You no longer need the 500,000 FTM. Now you just need 50,000. That's a slash of over 90%. And the whole point of this move is to increase decentralization. That, my friends, is huge. That I like. That I absolutely like. Now, yesterday I mentioned that it was, I said Paolo Ardoino was the CTO of Ripple. He's not. He's the CTO of Bitfinex. So I just want to make that correction. The CTO of Ripple is David Schwartz, also known as Joel Katz. Just saying. He's saying, look, that attempt was not because of a vulnerability of any kind. It was a bogus transaction, and the transaction got caught. Right? They were trying to do something on the sly, and they got caught. And they got caught. So I like the definition. I like how they came at it. And again, I like how XRP and Bitfinex reacted almost ridiculously quickly to catch that and handle it. So it goes to show you, it's the projects that are working to ensure that their networks are safe and strong, as well as centralized exchanges that are doing the same. Right? So pay attention to what you're doing. Because if you're like me and you do mostly non-custodial, you are your own exchange. You have to handle your business. You have to handle your own security. Some people don't want to do that, so they have their accounts on various exchanges so that they, that part of it is managed. Cool. I have no problem with that. It's not for me. I only leverage exchanges, even decentralized exchanges. I leverage exchanges for as much as I need them for a given transaction or set of transactions. That's it. Right? So it's a big deal. Again, talking about how in Dubai, they just licensed OKX, making major moves. OKX is definitely making major moves. And yes, they are on my list of exchanges to be paying attention to. Why? Because not all exchanges carry all the coins. Not all exchanges have reach to so many people. This is why I pay attention to those kinds of moves. And Circle CEO Jeremy Allaire is saying, I just got an email from him last week. I mean, he emailed, it was a blast email. And he's saying, listen, this year, yeah, we could possibly, in the United States, we could possibly see some regulation, not just in the United States, actually. We could see some regulation on stablecoins. 2024 could be the year. It could absolutely be the year. Now I want you to stop and think about stablecoins. As I recall, that Tether has, 75% of dominance. I think it's 72.1, something like that. Dominance in the stablecoin space globally. So Circle has a long way to go. PayPal has a long way to go. All the other stablecoins have a long way to go if they have that kind of dominance, or if that stablecoin has that kind of dominance. TUSD, another stablecoin, guess what? Depegged. Yeah, they depegged over the weekend. So that was a thing. That was absolutely a thing. Now, just as a quick note before you start going over the numbers, all of my bullet points that I've made are articles on the site, growmybag.tv. Go have fun. So let's switch on over. Oh man, I forgot to do that again. No worries. Meaning a little watermark that I normally have. So let's take a look. Let me refresh this real quick, because I haven't refreshed it since I started, shooting the video. But I wanted to go over what's going on in this space. Let me just give it one more click just to make sure. And that should be it. All right. So remember yesterday I told you about dog whiff hat. I don't even know what that means, but they were up just a hair yesterday, and they dropped like a rock today, 18%. This is why the reason why I'm calling it out is because I want you to pay attention to what these, meme coins are doing. All right, so up, a couple of percentage points yesterday, and big drop today. Just saying. Ethereum name service down 12%, although I expect that to pick back up. Remember, Vitalik Buterin had positive things to say, that it's a necessary entity and it's definitely much needed. And there you go. So it's a drop. I think that's more profit taking than anything else. But I actually like ENS. So that's something I just thought I'd share. Cadena, no, I don't own that. I'm just noticing that, they've dropped 8%. Aptos has dropped 8%. Sui was up yesterday, dropped 7%. Tezos is down 6%. Is there anybody else I'm paying attention to over here? No. On the positive side, look at these numbers on the positive side. Just like, wow. Who am I paying attention to? Chili's is up 20%. Sports, man. Chili's is all about sports. That's why. So pay attention to that stuff. Now, in terms of sports, you have NFL coming to a close. You'll have the Super Bowl in a few weeks. You have playoffs going on now. And then you have that new league, what is it, USFL or something like that, that's taking over in March for those of us that really like football. They've got good players over there. I'm going to be interested to see how it all pans out. So that's going to be interesting. That's just a side note, sorry, but I am paying attention to that because for me, frankly, there are marketing opportunities there, which means that there are companies that can be making money advertising there. Or how much reach are they going to get? And do I want to advertise, or do I want to buy into those stocks that are going to be advertising and supporting that league? Everything to me in terms of business, there's an opportunity to invest. There's an opportunity to make money. There's obviously an opportunity to lose money. But in something like that, you start to realize, well, that's the merge of two different leagues coming together and then creating something. If you look at football, that was a merge of leagues. Baseball, merge of leagues. Just saying, things change. The reason why these leagues are taking off is because you have soccer that takes off. Just saying, soccer is a big thing. Volleyball is big too. Just saying, globally, volleyball is big. Xi Network is up. Doing a little bit of interest on Xi. That I think they're a layer 3. A new layer 3. I have to see like where they are, what they're doing. I think they're focused on gaming, just like Beam. They're just on 2 different networks. So that's something to think about. Beam is up 10%. Let's see. A Star is up 7%. I told you I'm paying attention to them because they're playing around with Toyota and others. So I'm paying attention to a Star a lot. And they've moved up a lot. So at 83 now. So that's pretty cool. You could snatch up a bit, 15 cents, 16 cents. You could snatch up a bit on that. I mean, I'd wait for a slight pullback before I did anything there. But, I'm kind of looking at it. I'm kind of liking that. Now, I wanted to go over the earnings this week. Earnings, we have, just pay attention to this. Mercantile Bank Corp, PNC, Goldman Sachs, Guarantee Bank Shares, Morgan Stanley, Applied Digital Corp, but that's not a money thing. It's just a name that I know. Hancock Whitney, Interactive Brokers, Pinnacle Financial Partners. So that's something to pay attention to. Anybody else I'm paying attention to here? Nope, not at all. But this week is a big earnings week. As you can click through and you can start to see, you got more banks, Citizens. Then this is tomorrow. You've got Citizens, U.S. Bank Corp, Charles Schwab, Kinder Morgan. I mean, I gave you a list a few days ago, on the big financial institutions that's coming out there. So I'd be paying attention this week because I'm looking to see where this financial industry is going this year. Really paying attention to that. What kind of financial reports do we have? Financial reporting we have coming out this week. Today is Fed Governor Waller speaks. You have a lot of Fed governors speaking this week, but is there anything crucial that's coming out? Industrial production, import price reduction. No. Your housing starts, that comes out on Thursday. Initial jobless claims for this week's coming out on Thursday. Existing home sales on Friday. That's going to be interesting. Consumer sentiment is something we should be paying attention to because that's how people are spending money. And then you have, more Fed presidents speaking on Friday, and you have Fed Vice Chair Michael Barr speaking again on Friday. So those are things that I'm making note of. We've moved back into greed, lower end. We were at neutral yesterday, 51.52. Now we're at 64. I think we're going to continue moving in that direction. DeFi Llama, $74.716 billion in total value locked. And again, who do we have here? Lido at number 1, Aave, Maker, who else? Uniswap at number 5. These are your top 5, big time dexes that are out there, and liquid staking, doing that kind of thing, lending. So you've got some big names that are out there. The Tunlocker, Tuncoin is over there. Curve Finance is over there. Pancake Swap, and these are in the top 15. So I'd be paying attention. Again, total value locked, and coming in at about $74 billion, approaching 75. So I actually like that, and you can follow this and follow along and see what's going on in that space. Bitcoin, again, if I was to draw a line, even if I were to draw the line here, because I'm connecting this point here and this point here, even if I was to draw a line here, we're operating very much within a tight frame, right? Very much in a tight frame. Even if I move the line here slightly, that's connecting almost these lines. So right about there or here, where I can connect 1, 2, 3 lines. You're looking at, again, the bulk of that trading happening within that tight of a space. And that's something of note, because we went down right here. You can see where we've gone down a couple of times, popped up, drop, pop up, drop, like it precipitous falls. I'm thinking that, if you zoom out, you're going to see us going up. And nothing goes up in a straight line, right? So these are all opportunities where I'm paying attention, where I can shave some off. Why? Because I can shave some off the top, and when it drops again, because it will, I can buy back in. Top, drop, top, drop. That's what I'm paying attention to. What kind of rhythm am I going to start getting into? Yesterday was in the United States. That was the last holiday for a little while. So I'm expecting things to start to pick up. That's really where I think everything is going. Looking at the big board, I'm seeing red. Bitcoin traveling under 43,000. Am I happy about that? Sure. People think I'd be sad about that. I'm not. DCA, dollar cost averaging. Create your schedule, create your parameters, buy in so that you can handle your own stuff. That's what I've been taught since I was a kid. When I was younger, it was put your money away in a bank, put your money away in a savings account, then a money market, then a mutual fund. And you start to realize, now I'm an investor. I'm investing in things. Well, how much money would it be to invest in other things? And I pay attention. That's why I tell you guys, I pay attention to how much money I can make in one coin versus another, and swapping coins to take that advantage, to take advantage of that arbitrage. So just saying, there are things that I'm paying attention to. Again, still rumors talking about how this year Ethereum might outperform Bitcoin, and you're already seeing it with Ethereum up almost 11%, Bitcoin up only 1.44% year to date, right? Solana's down. To me, that's a buying opportunity, because again, all of last year, Solana was just taking off. It was absolutely just taking off. So those are things I'm paying attention to. The sleepers, again, I think sleepers are Polygon is a sleeper. I think Chainlink is a sleeper. Above $15, I like that. But I think there are certain things that are sleepers that we should be paying attention to. Toncoin, sleeper. Shiba Inu, I think, is another sleeper, down 6.74% this year. But I think they're going to take off because gaming has been skyrocketing, and they've got Shibarium. Anyway. This is Eddie J on Crypto for Grow My Bag TV. Hope you like what I'm doing. If you do, drop me a note. Love hearing from you guys. And if you don't, tell me how I can improve, and I really appreciate that. Have a good one. Bye-bye.